Investigate. Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Investigate. Investigate. It is a verb. Meaning. 1. To investigate is to look into something systematically. 2. To try to find out the truth about something such as a crime, accident, or scientific problem. 3. If someone, especially an official, investigates an event, or claim, they try to find out what happened or what is the truth. 4. To examine, study, or inquire into systematically, search or examine into the particulars of, examine in detail. Examples. 1. Police are investigating allegations of corruption involving senior executives. 2. Investigating further, we discovered that Carol was the person who took the call. 3. The government set up a commission to investigate the problem of inner-city violence. 4. The school created an independent review board to investigate charges of misconduct. 5. The commission will investigate whether these companies violated antitrust laws. 6. Just let some of my friends from the police department come here and investigate. 7. After stepping out from the shore, I saw some interesting rocks that I wanted to investigate. 8. In relation to judicial rhetoric, he investigates what we mean by justice and fairness. 9. It reminded Aru of the way a cat oozes down from a couch, curious to investigate. 10. The study investigates the impact of violent TV programming on children. 11. Penny was already being investigated by the police on suspicion of murder. 12. Thinking that made me sad, though, so I changed the subject and we started investigating. Negotiate. Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Negotiate. Negotiate. It is a verb. Meaning. 1. To have formal discussions with someone, in order to reach an agreement with them. 2. To discuss something in order to reach an agreement, especially in business or politics. 3. If you negotiate an area of land, a place, or an obstacle, you successfully travel across it or around it. 4. To manage to travel along a difficult route. 5. To deal with something difficult. Examples. 1. When you have two adversaries negotiating, you need to be on neutral territory. 2. They fail to negotiate their starting salaries, and later they fail to ask for better pay rises. 3. The government's official line has always been to refuse to negotiate with terrorists. 4. These were not efforts to negotiate, but attempts to isolate me from my organization. 5. She was able to negotiate the climb, with some help from younger campers. 6. The merger agreement requires that we don't negotiate with any other company. 7. Retailers should be allowed to negotiate prices directly with producers. 8. It would be possible to negotiate deals to work for a dozen companies all in one day. 9. Union leaders have negotiated an agreement for a shorter working week. 10. That's fine, Esther, he observed, as I negotiated my slope for the 20th time. 11. He believed the president was moving too slowly to find a negotiated settlement. 12. If Truman began negotiating with Japan now, it could be seen as a sign of weakness. Operate. Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Operate. Operate. It is a verb. Meaning. 1. If you operate a business or organization, you work to keep it running properly. If a business or organization operates, it carries out its work. 2. The way that something operates is the way that it works or has a particular effect. 3. When you operate a machine or device, or when it operates, you make it work. 4. When surgeons operate on a patient in a hospital, they cut open a patient's body in order to remove, replace, or repair a diseased or damaged part. 5. If military forces are operating in a particular region, they are in that place in order to carry out their orders. Examples. 1. Until his death in 1986, Greenwood owned and operated an enormous pear orchard. 2. The number of these machines operating around the world has now reached 10 million. 3. The surgeon who operated on the king released new details of his injuries. 4. Changes are being introduced to make the department operate more efficiently. 5. Changes are being introduced to make the department operate more profitably. 6. The company operates as an international delivery service for produce trading companies. 7. But if both processes are operating, what explanation provides a synthesis? 8. It is also the case that historic preservation virtually never operates this way either. 9. They passed a cement mixer that was being operated by 2 men in dusty overalls. 10. They operated in rugged enemy fortified zones, and in heavily populated rural areas. 11. These were things that the doctors had to operate on him so that he could do them. 12. This means that operating costs are a fraction of those at a typical full-price supermarket. Participate. Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Participate. Participate. It is a verb. Meaning. 1. If you participate in an activity, you take part in it. 2. To take part in or become involved in an activity. 3. If someone participates in the management of a company, they help make important decisions, for example by being. 4. To be or become involved in an activity. Examples. 1. We want to encourage members to participate fully in the running of the club. 2. The teacher tries to get everyone to participate in the classroom discussion. 3. However, no punitive measures can be taken against a laboratory that refuses to participate. 4. All participating pharmacists received training in the provision of pharmaceutical care. 5. Germany and Spain have let it be known that they will participate only if Britain does. 6. The second was to Amber, who confirmed her willingness to participate in this trap. 7. Everyone in the class is expected to participate actively in these discussions. 8. There are regular class discussions, but some of the students never participate. 9. We asked a company spokesman to join the debate, but he refused to participate. 10. She was the type of girl who participates, and Rowan was the kind of kid who avoids. 11. Kings and queens don't get to participate in the royal fad of changing their looks. 12. Only former winners are invited to participate as members of the planning committee. Relate. Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Relate. Relate. It is a verb. Meaning. 1. The verb relate means to make a connection. 2. If two things relate, they are connected in some way. 3. If something relates to a particular subject, it concerns that subject. 4. The way that two things relate, or the way thing relates to another, is the sort of connection that exists between them. 5. If you can relate to someone, you can understand how they feel, or behave so that you are able to communicate with them, or deal with them easily. 6. If you relate a story, you tell it. Examples. 1. Other recommendations relate to the details of how such data is stored. 2. He felt the need to relate his experience to that of people from different cultures. 3. When people are cut off from contact with others, they lose all ability to relate. 4. I shall not relate all of what follows in the sequence, in which it revealed itself to me. 5. We need to explain why these issues are important, and relate them to everyday life. 6. She was very tired by now, but felt oddly invigorated by relating the story to someone at last. 7. There's a code of silence surrounding issues related to individuals' earnings, she told me. 8. Default risk is related to the inability of a borrower to reimburse a loan or a bond. 9. But our parents never mentioned Count Olaf to us. Just how is he related to us, exactly? 10. Because in an hour, you're going to be related to us. There's no turning back now. 11. Some days I saw her looking at her daughter, like she couldn't believe they were related. 12. The 3 arts of the trivium relate to the mind, and the 4 of the quadrivium to matter. If you like the video, please hit the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for more videos.